he does expect you to say something, and so you thus pick a completely innocuous topic. Have I ever heard the word innocuous before? Innocuous. Is there anywhere close by we can sit down? My legs are feeling a bit wobbly. The words scarcely leave your lips before one of your knees give way. With a sharp inhale, you balance yourself with Elizabeth's tombstone. Do you need me to carry you? No. I want to say no, but we've been trying to please him so far, and it seems like he wants to carry us, so let's say if you insist. Oh my god, he just went close again. He seems to have long lashes. I heard that men have longer lashes than women, but I'm not sure how true that is. I don't need you to know, but if you're offering, wonderful. Come on, up you go. Oh, the closest we've ever been to. Oh, he has long ears. Long ears. He's a vampire. When you decided to accept his offer, you weren't sure what would happen. You thought perhaps that it was just a typical bravado of a noble man, making offers he had no intention of following through on. But he followed through on this one. But Vasily has shown himself to be very unexpected in so many ways. He easily lifts you up off the ground and into his arms, so easily in fact that you let out a squeak at the sudden sensation. You almost slip out of his grasp, but you're able to reach around his shoulders just in time for the two of you to keep yourselves off the ground. Okay, what's with the hand? Is that our hand? Wait, what? You truly weren't joking. Of course not. Now let us retire home, dear. Vasily sets off in the direction of the castle. At least you assume that is the direction he's going in. You're not familiar enough with the grounds to say for sure, nor can you see well enough to tell. Maybe he's taking you to your own tombstone. Not for the first time, you're completely at the mercy of Vasily's whims. He could take you anywhere he wanted, and you would be almost powerless to stop him. The thought sends a thrill through you. You try to suppress a shiver, but don't do a very good job at it. Now you think you're catching a cold. The journey back to the mansion goes by quick, as Vasily's concluded tour leaves enough room for you to recount your own tales. You discuss much of Zarachevo. Vasily appeared rather ill-informed of his own territory. Maybe it's not his territory. A small rat scurries across your path, interrupting your thoughts. Just how many could inhabit these grounds? Once the two of you retreat back inside, you expect him to leave you with a servant, but instead he insists on taking you back to your bedroom. That is what he calls the room you've been resting in. You are tired enough by now that you let him stay without qualm. Though you would probably let him even if you were fully awake, if you were completely honest with yourself. You do, however, insist that he does not stay in the room while you are trying to sleep. In exchange, he makes a show of making sure you are comfortable before he is satisfied enough to allow himself to leave. It's charming in its own way. Once you are finally alone, it does not take long to slip into slumber. There are no windows here. Okay. This red is a bit too much, too deep. Reddish purple. Looks like grape juice, and now it's making me thirsty. You had never been in the grand adventures that other people had experienced in their dreams, but you also never experienced the terrors that could follow you into your waking days. A fair trade, you believed. Yet, on this night, you have a dream. Even as you watch it, you can't tell what it means. There is a figure, a person, a woman probably. Oh, dark. She's turned away from you. You can tell that she's wearing a dress, but you cannot make out any particular details of it. Only that it is black, as if she's a widow in mourning. Oh, I thought it'd be a wedding dress. The woman in black does not talk. She simply stands there, unmoving. I kind of think she looks like she's pregnant. Oh, okay, she moves. Finally, her head turns, as if she's getting ready to speak to you. And then you wake up. Okay, this game is rather boring. When you return to the waking world, you try to wipe away the confusion with sensible thoughts. Finally, there's a different lighting. I like this better. It's just a dream. Most people have dreams. It's normal. But you can't keep the unease away. Burning questions claw and scratch unceasingly. Why here? Why now? Your ill mood is intensified by the fatigue in your limbs. Last night's walk took more out of you than you had expected, and now you don't know if you will even be able to get out of bed at all today. Really? That bad? If it is in fact daytime like before, the dull red lighting is the same. With no clocks anywhere in the room, you have no way of knowing how long you've been asleep. Maybe days. The room isn't completely dark, however. There are a handful of candles scattered across on tables, their flames gently flickering. Oh. One of those candles illuminates the outline of a human figure, vastly. But maybe he's not human. Oh. The fire's refraction makes him seem almost like an otherworldly figure, a being who shouldn't exist in this world. But you dismiss the thought as a wild fantasy of the drowsy, and instead consider how to start off your day. Call out to him. I want an ending already. Good morning, Vasily. He looks towards you, then approaches your bedside. Without the fire so close, his silhouette solidifies, becoming a steady presence rather than an almost ghost. Good morning, Flynn's Eye. I hope you slept well. So it's morning. Very. I don't think I've ever slept better in my life. It was a lie, but you did not want to be a bad guest so soon. Despite how run down everything is, it's still a level of comfort, far greater than you're used to. However, a single night of sleep hasn't performed a miracle. You still feel too weak to get out of bed. I'd hate to be that weak. How long have I been asleep? Long enough to start building up your strength. That's what's most important, yes. I suppose. It'll be hard to get used to your regular schedule once you get back home. But at this pace, that won't be a while yet. Yeah, I don't think you're ever getting back home. The view is beautiful. You could see a fountain through the thick glass of the tall windows. Isn't it? That's why I made sure to have you rest in this room. Looking at this scene always invigorates me. I imagine you'll be running around the grounds again in no time. It's a fun thought, although you feel like he's overstating it a bit. Vasily, are you literate? To an extent. I can bring you some books if you'd like. I'd love that. Please do. Yeah, I'd love that. It might not be the most fruitful idea. While you can read, you worry that the books he has might be the dry, verbose sort that you have trouble with. Oh, a woman this time. Seriously, their hands are pointy. Those are claws, not hands. For a moment, you think he's going to leave the room, but instead, he starts conversing with a maid, who had been hiding in the shadows so discreetly you hadn't noticed her at all. I think I can barely make out some features on her face. She leaves quietly, then a few minutes later reappears with a stack of books in her arms. Fairy tales? Vasily thanks her as he transfers the books from her arms to his, inspecting each spine as he goes. Very good, very good. He places the stack next to you, taking care not to accidentally be too forceful. On the bed, these should be suitably diverting, I think. Please tell me or one of the maids if you need more light to read by. I will, thank you. Before the days of the plague, when sickness did not ooze out of every door and hope outweighed fear, you often read to the village children. The kids, many of whom could not yet read, would gather and listen hungrily. Sometimes, if your energy allowed, you would try to teach them a written word or two. While their parents hated how little you could do for the village, they seemed to appreciate the entertainment you could provide for their children. Not that it ever lessened their biting dislike for you. Cruel. You pick the top book off the stack and start reading. To your surprise, it isn't some kind of dry history or records like you thought a noble might have in his home, but rather a novel. And it's a rather scandalous one, actually. Even though you're reading silently and nobody can see over your shoulder, you can't help but feel like you're reading something you shouldn't. But something about seeing these characters in your mind's eye make terrible decisions over and over again makes you feel better about your own choices. You haven't killed your husband to then marry his brother, then killed the brother to marry his recently widowed father. What is that? That's crazy. Are the brothers not handsome enough for you that you have to go to the father? Wait, are you looking for wealth? Why would anyone do that? But maybe it's a true story, at least in this game. Lastly, you appear rather intrigued by that story, Flynn's eye. Quite a dramatic tale, no? Vasily leans closer to see what page you're paused at. A warm sensation prickles across your cheeks. We are still trying to be nice to him, so offer to read together. Though I'd rather like to move away from him. I would do that, but now I'm trying to, back her up to him? What do you call this? I forgot. Flynn's eye. You are familiar with it? It is my book, after all. It must be good if it still intrigues you after having already read it. Would you like to read it with me? A contented smile spreads across Vasily's face. I'd thought you'd never ask. Yeah, I wouldn't have asked. Oh my god, he looks so good here. His features are soft, because soft features are actually the best, not hard ones. And he looks so good. I like the art style. Yeah, that art style is beautiful. But I think he needs to be in a different setting with different clothes, and maybe his hair should be braided. He'd look better. Together, Vasily and you embark on the treacherous heroine's story. Though the book's contents tries to draw you into its world, you remain firmly anchored in reality due to Vasily's proximity. Our leading lady is frightfully cunning. She's as compelling as she is respectable. Agree. Hey, did he just say she was respectable? Oh wait, his eyes just turned towards us. Agreed. Anyone who chases their goals with this level of conviction is worth admiring. Actually, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Her methods of getting rid of these bodies could use some work, though. She'd be better off with water disposals rather than hiding them in her family mausoleum. What's a mausoleum? I need to check that out. Vasily. Vasily lets out an airy chuckle. What? You amuse me. Good ideas on your part, dear, but devastating in consequence. You see, the only water around our heroine's castle is their well. The corpse's impurities would surely taint their drinking water, thus killing everyone in the castle. I appreciate you playing a killer, though, my dear. It was quite charming. You feel uneasy at being compared to a killer, even if fictional, but you hold